Hi, my name's Chip Tatum, and I'm an ex-intelligence officer for the United States government. 25 years ago, I started my service as a young airman in the United States Air Force. I went through Special Forces training as a combat controller and was subsequently sent to Vietnam. During my tour in Vietnam, I was recruited onto a team called Team Red Rock. The operation that we performed was Operation Red Rock. It was an operation designed to move Lon Nol, the premier of Cambodia, off of the proverbial fence and onto the side of the U.S. government. During this operation, Team Red Rock was captured. Orders were given by the President of the United States that Team Red Rock should not return to the United States. During our captivity, all but 2 of us were tortured to death. Previous to this time, although Team Red Rock was betrayed by the President and his orders that we shouldn't return, I found no other involvement of the government in misdeeds. However, from the day I joined Task Force 160 at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, until today, I've seen nothing but government corruption. I believe I was paid for 22 years to work for the American people. I believe that you have the right, as Americans in this country, as taxpayers, to know what happened. What you do with this information is completely up to you. How you deal with it is completely up to you. Whether you believe me is completely up to you. But I will tell you this, what you do with it will have an effect on you the rest of your life. If you choose to ignore what I have to say, in time to come, you'll see that probably you should not have completely ignored what I had to say. And that's just my own opinion. But it's an opinion of an intelligence officer who's been out there, who's been battling in the field for the right for you to call me a liar. I think this is a wonderful country when it's a country that you have the right to your own opinion. There aren't many countries out there where you can have the right to your own opinion. And I think that we need to continue to protect our rights to have that opinion. This is an example of a document which required the termination of a target for the OSGs. It was signed in 1991 by then President George Bush. The OSGs were tasked with neutralizations around the world. Who we neutralized became more and more bizarre as time went on. And I think it's important for you to understand a modus operandi, an MO, that I started noticing with Mr. Bush. When he ran for president in 1988, we received an order to neutralize, now this doesn't mean to assassinate, but to neutralize one person who was gaining favor in the voters' eyes. That man is Gary Hart. Because it was an American citizen, I refused to do it. However, there were others who did not refuse to do that. And now, as a matter of history, we all know what happened to Mr. Gary Hart. He was effectively neutralized by the OSG providing a woman and taping that rendezvous. It was then given to the media and pushed in the media. The next instance that I was tasked to neutralize an American citizen was in the 1992 election. I was asked to neutralize a candidate for a third party. This candidate was gaining favor in the voters' eyes. He was growing fast, and he's a person most of us know. His name is Atros Perot.
Everybody wants our movement to go away, right? What better way to get us to start thinking about it than to do all the things that we felt ought to be done? Okay.
I did cause word to be given to him during that election that there was going to be a neutralization attempted and that he needed to be aware of it. He announced, I believe, early in the running that there was threats of blackmail made against him, something to do with his daughter, and he decided to drop out of the running. But then in, I believe, August or September of the election year, he jumped back into the running.
George Bush began with the United Nations. He went on to head our CIA. And then by everything that I witnessed and experienced, it was George Bush who was in control of our country through 3 administrations, because Ronald Reagan answers to George Bush. Then George Bush was in office himself. And after that, Bill Clinton went into office. And I heard Bill Clinton and George Bush once discussing how when the American populace became disillusioned with Republicans in control of our country, bringing us into the New World Order, that Bill Clinton, as a Democrat, would be put into office. And it was also my experience to have witnessed Bill Clinton answering to George Bush. So we certainly aren't blaming everything on George Bush. There's a lot of other players that are named in our book, Transformation of America. But it's very important that people understand who's at the top of this effort so that they know exactly what the problem really is.
Now, let me define how anti-government I am not. Because I am not anti-U.S. Constitution. How many of you are totally for our U.S. Constitution? How many of you are totally against those who are trying to do away with our Constitution? How many of you did time in the military, or maybe you're an ex-policeman like me, and have sworn to uphold the Constitution against all enemies over there and over here, foreign and domestic? Okay, I have twice. And I was born in a conservative American family, and my dad was a conservative, and so I guess I'm now an extremist. Why? Because they want to discredit everybody who doesn't want world government. Everyone who won't buy the party line is now an extremist, you see. So we can be labeled, and most of the people who don't know what is going on will buy the lie and turn against those who really know what's going on and who can educate others and help them stop it, perhaps. Now,
I can see that everything we were doing from 1986 in the OSGs until I left in 1982, 1992, we're designed to align countries into a one-world government. There's no doubt in my mind that that's what we were doing. There's no doubt in my mind that that timetable by the end of 2000 will be accomplished. As a matter of fact, having seen certain time schedules for things to happen, not understanding what it was designed for, I can say that they're ahead of schedule right now. It's our job to deter that, to slow that down, and perhaps by slowing that down, by slowing it down at the very top levels of these group of elite, perhaps we can give us common people the opportunity to come together and decide that there's something better than what they have planned for us in the New World Order. Well, in working for the people I work for, I only see two classes. I see the leaders who are the elite, and I say the leaders who are the elite because of the people that we work for. We work for the Rothschilds, the Roosevelts, the superpowers in money around the world. The high security bases are closed bases. Some bases aren't. Some bases have highways that you can drive right through. However, when you look at this area, you'll just think, hey, look at the barbed wire around that place. I wonder what's in there. Well, not much is in there right now, but something will be in there. And it will be people. It won't be equipment. They're not designed to hold a lot of equipment. They're designed to hold a lot of people. They're not warehouse areas. I think in summing up what I'd like to say to all of you who listen to this video, and in the media, I'd like to ask one question. Is anybody there?